Welcome back to me on Metro TV. All right, so we are going on the third hurdle of our activities today, and this time it's on Good Afternoon Ghana. Still some more polls to come. I think by now you must have realized that we have gotten into the environment of elections and its polls and all activities that's happening. We know that the MPP is on major polls opening nominations for some constituencies, as we term them, the orphan constituencies today. So there's a major activity with the NPP. Over the weekend, the NDC also committed its time to the people of Asing North by joining the people to say thank you to God and also from Jachikwesin and his team to the people of Asing North. And you've heard some comments also from John Dramani Mahama. It is definitely going to be continuing like that. Alan Chemating and also Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and former Agric Minister Dr. Ifeyi Akoto are all, on the spree of campaign and issuing their statement as and when, and we're bringing you various, details of that. But in the midst of it, there are those who have also committed the time to monitoring the electorates and bringing results as and when they go into the field and conduct some polls and let you know how the terrain looks and feels like. For a period of time, we've been dealing with Mr. MUSSA DANKWAH, who is Executive Director for Global Info Analytics, and we've gone back to back with him with most of the polls that he has brought out. And I think you can probably mark him 85% or 90% out of all the polls that he's brought. So we feel a little bit confident when we're trying to deal with him in terms of the polls that he's conducted over the period. The recent one that came after the Asing had to do with the exit polls of Asing. You know that normally you have the exit polls, presented to you on the day of elections, but also as a pollster, you monitor the temperature of the people or the voter before you decide to put it out. And so he put it out later. And then, which Metro TV dealt with it yesterday. I'll ask me a few questions on that one. But the latest one we're going to be dealing with is the National Opinion Poll on Governance and Elections. That, I think, will catch your interest. Let me just take a breather. When I come back, I'll go straight to him. My name is Ania Fuampofo. Welcome back to the program. Good afternoon, Ghana. And Mr. MUSSA DANKWAH has already joined me here in the studio. He is Executive Director for Global Info Analytics. This afternoon, our focus is on the national opinion polls on governance and elections. Mr. DANKWAH, you're welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ali.
So I think you just have to pack your things and come and sleep with us here in the studio because your election central, that's Metro TV, seem to be, paying more attention to your polls. So thank you for that. Yesterday we dealt with the exit polls with you, right? Just go over it again for us. Let's understand what the exit poll, percentages look like.
All right. First and foremost, exit polls are usually conducted on the day of the election, and the results released just before the votes are counted elsewhere. But in our case, we decided to customize it a bit, because if you had asked people how they voted the same day, they would not be willing to tell you because of fear of political repercussions if things don't go the way they expect.
Right.
So we had to allow time to pass before going back to find out how they voted, why they voted a certain way. That's why we went to Asing North. Now, the results is shocking. In terms of vote buying, over 96% of voters said they were aware, they heard that it was going on in the constituency. And 94% said they had personally taken inducement from the political parties. And then 15% of those we interviewed, or those who voted, said that they got their inducement from the MPP. 13% got their inducement from NDC. And 75% of them took the inducement from both MPP and NDC. Now, when we asked them how they voted on the day to analyze how the money or inducement influenced them, we found out that For those who took money from MPP, 42% of them ended voting for James Getchikwesin of NDC. And 58% of them voted for MPP's candidate, Charles
That's
Opoku.
for those who took the money from MPP.
MPP. Now, for those who took money from NDC, 73% of them voted for James Getchikwesin. Only 27% voted for Charles Opoku. For those who took money from both parties, 41%, or 61%, or 62% voted for NDC, compared to 42% for MPP. So clearly, both parties gave inducement, but the MPP did not get return for their investment in the constituency. The people who took the money didn't vote for them. Mostly didn't vote for them.
Was the inducement just money or anything that came in?
It was cash, motorbikes, bicycles, farm tools, whatever you call it.
Motor bicycles and were giving us?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
And then the last issue, with regards to why they voted the way they voted, there were two issues that stood out. One, the perception of James being persecuted. A huge number.
James Kwesi.
Almost 90-something% said they were voting for James because they felt the government was persecuting him. And then there were those who said they were angered or annoyed by the level of vote buying. And for those, again, over 80% voted for NDC, whilst 18% voted for MPP. So you could see that there were reasons why the MPP lost. And two of the reasons were persecution and vote buying, confirmed by this exit poll.
So just so you're clear in your mind, we have the polls that sometimes are giving out before the elections. Exit polls will be given to you on the election day, so you know how the voting is actually going or how it went, And he's just saying that we customized ours because on the global, stage, you normally will have exit polls giving on the day of the voting, right? On the day of the voting. But you look at probably how polarized we are and how sensitive the political environment really looks like. He decided that he will customize how we put up our exit polls. And that's why it was not given on the very day of the vote. And I think that was a good idea anyway. All right, so let's go straight now into our national opinion poll today. It's on governance and elections. Let's start.
Yes, this is our usual 90-day poll tracker that we provide the country on election issues and also the governance issue. So as usual, we will go with our methodology and approach. Now, in this cycle of polling, we interviewed 6,111 voters across a number of constituencies. Our confidence level is 99% and a margin of error of 1.66% for this survey. We use EC's 2020 voters register as a sampling frame so that we will assign sample to areas depending upon the number of voters in that constituency or in that region. We sampled 30% of constituencies in Ghana, and that gives us about 82 constituencies altogether. Now, the results of the primaries and general elections head-to-head are based on likely voters model, which means that anyone who says he will not vote will discount his vote, his view, and analyze the view based on those who are going to cast the vote in 2024. This is a cross-sectional poll, which means that we're not interviewing the same people every time we went there. We'll go to different areas, the same sampling frame, and then we interview people. So we are not interviewing the same people. In the face-to-face, you cannot do that. It's impractical to do that in this country. Then we look at, if you want to look at the demography aspect of the poll, then the sampling or the margin of error may change because that will attract a higher margin of error depending upon what you are looking at. And then we did the field interviews between 30th June to 7th July 2023. Yeah. Okay. So these are the regional sample allocations. We have Northeast, the least, Savannah, Ahafo, Oti, Western North, Upper West, Bono East, Bono East, Upper East, Bono, Volta, Northern region, Western region, Central region, Eastern region, and Ashanti region, and Greater Accra.
What are we allocating?
We are allocating the number of interviews. We will do the 6111 to all these regions in proportion of voters who live there, who vote.
Right.
Now, let's look at the demography of the people we interviewed. 1, male, 49% from the respondents were male, 51 were female. Then let's look at the age group of the people we interviewed. People who are 17 years and just below 18 were 3%. Why did we interview people who are 17 years at this stage? Because in 2024, they will be eligible to vote.
Okay.
And EC will open the register and they will register to vote. So we are capturing them. Yeah. So we don't ignore them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
18 to 24, 13%. 25 to 34, 32%. 35 to 44, 28%. 45 to 54, 16%. 55 to 64, 6%. And above is 6%. Now let's go to the educational level of voters we interviewed. No education, 18%. Junior high, 21%. Tertiary, 24%. Senior high, whopping 37%. Yeah. Then we have employment status. 19% were students. 19% were students. 26% were unemployed. Employed, 52%. Pensioners, 3%. Yeah. Now let's look at the ethnic groups that we captured. The Mande group is 1%. The Grushi 2%, Gruma 3%, the Guans 3%, Gan Adangbe 7%, the Evers 10%, other minority ethnic groups 10%, Moli Dagbani 11%, and Akan 49%.
Wow.
Then we have the religious groups. Other religions 3%, traditional religion 4%, non-religious group 5%, Islam 22%, and Christians 67%. Then we have political party affiliation. PPP 1%, PNC 1%, CPP 1%, other parties 2%, not disclosed 13%, floating voters 17%, NDC 32%, and MPP 34%.
Does the 13% and the 17% of floating voters mean anything? Is it big, a percentage?
I think it should be slightly more, bigger. But because we have a room for not disclosed, people are hiding within the undisclosed to do so many things. Right. Now let's look at the party application of first-time voters, people who have never voted before. This is how they said they are going to align themselves. MPP, 23% of first-time voters are MPP. NDC, 24%. Look at first-time voters for floating vote. 30% of first-time voters are floating voters. They are outnumbering the other blocks. And then you have other parties, 4%, and undisclosed, 20%. A lot is happening within the undisclosed. Now, on the question of the direction of the country, we asked them, do you believe that this country is headed in the right direction or wrong direction? Look at the response. Right direction. July is now 26%. It was 19% in the previous quarter. It's gone up by 7%, an improvement there for right direction. Wrong direction, it was 71% in April. It is now 63%, an improvement on that metric. Very good. No opinion, 10%. It's gone up to 11%. So there's a good positive trend in terms of how people see the country's headed. At the moment, it's trending downwards, which is very good. Now, let's look at the party affiliation of people who said we are heading the wrong way or right way. MPP, 49% of them said Ghana is headed in the right direction. 41% said wrong direction. 10% have no opinion. NDC, right direction 7%, wrong direction 85%, no opinion 8%. Floating voters, 15% said right direction, 72% said wrong direction. It is very worrying. You must be able to bring this one down to have a chance of winning election. Right. At the moment, it's too high.
Right.
No opinion for them is 12%. Other parties, look at it, 71% still wrong direction, 18% right direction, no opinion, 11%. Look at those who did not disclose their party affiliation. 77%.
That's critical for undisclosed and floating voters.
Absolutely. We believe that there are people from MPP and floating who are hiding within the undisclosed. Yeah. They are not happy. 77% said we are heading in the wrong direction. So they must look at those numbers very critically. Now, let's look at the approval rating of the president. We asked them to indicate whether they approve of his performance or disapprove his performance. Now, approve, now 34%. It was 29% last quarter. It has made an 5% improvement over the last quarter. Disapprove, it was 65%. It's come down to what, 60%. No opinion remains flat. It means those who disapprove of him declined and they went to approve him. So we are seeing an improvement in his performance over the last quarter. Now, let's look at the approval of the president by political party affiliation. MPP, 60% approve of his performance, 38% disapprove. When it comes to NDC, 82 disapprove, 13 approve. Floating voters, 67 disapprove, 67 disapprove. Approve, 23%. Other political parties, 63 disapprove, 31 approve. Undisclosed, 55% disapprove, 31 approve, and 13% no opinion. So you can see that with the exception of MPP supporters, every other bloc is disapproving the president. That's a worrying trend. Right. Let's look at the performance of the government in the eyes of voters. Excellent, 7%. Very good or good, 18%. Average, 29%. Very poor or poor, 46%. So overwhelming majority of voters are saying that the government is not performing well.
And the excellence is 7%.
7%. So if you add the two, you got about 25%.
So I'm looking at education, that graph. We had between the ages of 25 and 34 was 32%.
But you can't read education into this. It's a different matrix.
Well, because I'm looking at the group of persons you interviewed.
You know, you could break down this performance into the education level of voters, which we have, but we didn't think we have enough time to show it here. So you could see those who were approving him, what is the level of education? Those who are disapproving him, what is the level of education? And those who are saying average, what is their level of education? That figures are there, but for time reasons, we couldn't present it.
No, you can't break it down here.
Yes,
I'm just looking at it from the beginning of the slide.
Yes.
The percentages of the education, the age
group.
Yes, the age brackets that you actually, no, this one is education. So we had 3% of between 3% of 17 and can vote. We had 13% of 18-24. We had 32 of 25 to 34, and we had 28% of 35 to 44. And this is under the educational graph.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I'm looking at the 7% of those who are saying
excellent.
Excellent.
You don't know who they are until you find out. Okay, let's go back to the previous slides. Okay, standard of living.
Okay.
We asked people whether their standard of living in the last 12 months has improved or unchanged or worsened. And this is what they told us.
Okay.
Now, those who said it has improved has moved from 16% in April to 19% in July. 3% improvement. Worsened from 54%, dropped hugely to 45%. That's a very good downward trend for people. They are feeling better than they used to in the last previous poll. A sharp decline of probably about 9% or thereabout. Then you come to unchanged. It's gone up from 25 to 29% this time around. And those who said no opinion has gone up from 5% to 7%. The critical block is here, worsened and improved. Improved has gone up by 3% and worsened decline.
That's rather the critical block.
Yes, and it's trending the right way.
Okay.
It shouldn't be going the other way.
Okay.
Now we asked them, are you up for those who said it has gotten worse or not improved? We asked them whether they were optimistic that it will improve in the next 12 months. Whopping 57% said they don't believe it will improve.
Because I thought that was rather critical. Those who are saying it has unchanged.
So you first have to see those who said it has improved and those who said it has not improved.
It has not improved.
For those who said they haven't seen any improvement, or for those who said it has not changed that much or no opinion, we asked them, Do you believe that it will improve in the next 12 months? Whopping 57% said they have no hope that it will improve.
Okay.
Yes, it will improve 27%, and they have no opinion, 16%. So these people are still pessimistic about the future in the next 12 months. Now, on the issue of corruption, which is rising, we'll come back to see that one. We asked them, what is their view of corruption in this country today? No opinion has moved from 6% to 7%. It is improving. It's declined from 16% to 15%. And those who said it is the same has gone up from 20% to 25%. And then it is getting worse, has dropped from 58% to 53%. You could say that they moved from here, and some went into, it remained the same, and then a few went into, it's improving, and no opinion. So it's trending in the right way. This has to come down, and at the moment it's coming down.
Yeah.
Now, we asked them, is the government doing enough to fight corruption? Look at it. There's no confidence whatsoever. 62% said no. They're not fighting corruption the way they should be fighting. Only 23% said yes, they are, and then 15% said they have no opinion about government fight on corruption. This is critical, and we've seen corruption now climbing up to become an election issue.
Yeah.
If it remains like that, they will be in trouble.
Okay, so just to let viewers know that what we're looking at now is the national opinion polls on governance and elections, right, with Global Info Analytics. So just in case you just joined us, that's what we're looking at. So we're looking at what has gone into governance so far. We're on the 1992 Constitution now. Please, you can continue.
Right. We asked people, because there has been so many talks about the Constitution and so on and so forth. We asked them, do they share the view that the Constitution addresses our needs and challenges as a country? 50% said they disagree with that statement. It doesn't serve our needs and purposes. 50%. Those who agree are 28%, and 22% did not have any opinion about that. So most Ghanaians, or half voters, believe that the Constitution is not serving our needs and purposes. Right. And then we looked at the almighty. They've jumped. I think
okay.
the MP,
if we can go back,
the MPP race has been skipped.
Okay, help us to go back, please.
Go back. Maybe they edited it and took the MPP race
but
out.
We can continue from here.
This is going to be the Baumia Mahama race. So I'm not quite sure whether.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Maybe they don't want to see the MPP one.
Oh, okay. So we have the specific one on the
yes,
MPP.
for MPP primaries and then the national election.
Okay, let's finish with this.
And then we can.
We have to pick that first before this.
It makes sense like that.
It will make sense that
yes.
way. Okay, let's take a breather and let's check with the producers if they can help us with the slide. If we've done something, we can fix it quickly. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Good Afternoon, Ghana. We're looking at the latest polls conducted by the Global Info Analytics, the national opinion poll on governance and elections. And we're with Mr. Mussa Dankwah. So we found our missing slide, key issues.
Yes, key issues. Now, we spoke to Ghanaians and asked them what are their top 3 key issues they will take to the ballot when they go to cast their vote. Here they are. Top issue on people's mind, economy, 18%, followed by jobs, 17%, education, 15%, corruption is now higher than roads, 10%, roads, 9%, healthcare, 8%, petrol prices, 6%, taxes, 4%, security, 3%, water, 2%, sanitation, 2%, ethnicity as a factor, 1%, party member, 1%, other religions, 1%, and religion, 1%. Now, see where corruption is. If they don't improve in the matrix and it climbs up, it could be a challenge for the MPP in 2024.
I actually expected corruption to be 18%.
Yes.
I mean, because corruption will solve a lot of these problems.
Right. we asked the voters who did they trust to better manage the current economic crisis. We gave them the 4 people we think are standing now. Let's see.
For the MPP.
For the MPP stock, we said, regardless of the party you support, put your parties aside and tell us who do you think is best person to manage the current crisis. Someone else, 9%. Kennedy Ohina Japan, 10%. Alan Cheramatin, 14%. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, 21%. And John Dramani Mahama, 47%.
So we haven't accepted this someone else thingy?
Because we don't know what CPP is bringing. PNC is bringing. They haven't announced, we don't know who is coming. We don't know all those people. So they may be residing in someone else.
And
it means they don't have trust and confidence in any of these people.
And at this point, let me just come in and use the opportunity to announce to political parties that also try to contest with the MPP and the NDC that these are some of the things that affect you. You know, when you don't come out early, let's see your candidates, you know, talking. I saw what Peter Obi did in Nigeria, and it really, really sold him. It was quite interesting how he came out early and he swept some of the votes, you know, sizably.
They have to sit up.
Yes, so you as a political party must sit up so that we can have a third option or a fourth option, I mean.
Okay, next slide. Now the MPP primaries. A lot has happened here. A lot has happened here from where we were last time. Now, in July, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, among all voters, leads 36% of all Ghanaians now want him to lead MPP. Alan Cheramatin, 33%. He's about 3% behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Kennedy Ohina Japan, 24.8% behind Alan. Kwabna Ejapon, now on 1.5%, fourth position in MPP among all voters. Dr. Usu Afriakoto, 1.1%. Boache Jaku, 0.9%. The rest follows. Now, we're now looking at who leads MPP all voters compared to last period. What has happened? In the last period, or in this period, there was no someone else in MPP race because those who went for the forms, we knew them. There was no somebody else. So now the field is clear for people to decide how they want to vote. In March, in April, Bawumia was on 29%. He now moved to what? 36%.
That was when we did the polls you conducted.
When we did last in April. So he's gone up by almost 7%. Alan was on 30% last time. He was leading at the time. Now he's gone up 33%. He hasn't lost numbers, but he has gained. Bawumia didn't lose. He gained. Kennedy Ohina Japan was on 23%. He gained 2%. Now 25%. Someone else that was 12%, now it is 0 because, and this is the number that has really been distributed across.
Oh, right.
Yes, so now there's no somebody else. Where would you want to vote? People align themselves, and Bawumia got more of that 12% than the rest of the candidates. That's why he's up there 36% of the vote. Now, this is where it gets very tricky for the rest of the candidates. Who leads MPP voters only? Those who said they were MPP sympathizers. That is where Dr. Bawumia has his huge advantage. Last month, or last April, he was on 39%. Now 50% on the border mark. 50%. Meaning that if this is to hold today, he's likely to avoid runoff. But we're not there yet.
Yes,
this
because
is today.
I remember you did a runoff.
Yes, we'll come to that. Now, go back, no?
No, please go back. All right.
But Alan, he was on 37% among MPP voters in April. It's dropped by 4% to 33%. Among MPP, April, Kennedy was 21%. It dropped 16%. Others remain 2%. Someone else is now 0. So you could see that Bawumia snatched votes from Kennedy and Alan.
Right.
To leap from 39 to 50%. So Bawumia is in their backyard, eating in their garden. They should be careful. Right. We looked at the MPP race in the eyes of floating voters, which is very key. That has been Alan's selling point. Now, 30% of floating voters are backing Bawumia. 41% are backing Alan. 25% are backing Kennedy. And 5% are backing the rest of the pack. So you could see that Alan has a huge advantage among floating voters across the country.
Yeah.
Now, runoff, MPP raised Bawumia and Alan among all voters. If the race should go to runoff among all voters, Ghanaians by 54% prefer Alan compared to 46% who prefer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Which is quite
so
different.
nationally, Alan has the national appeal among all voters if there's a runoff compared to Bawumia. Now, the next slide. It flips. Among MPP, should there be a runoff? Bawumia is leading, 55%. Alan, 45%. It's a complete flip of the coin. MPP wants Alan.
I'm just hoping that MPP is watching.
MPP wants Bawumia. Ghanaians wants Alan.
Oh. Okay.
Now, we looked at how Kennedy supporters vote will split in runoff scenario, which is very key. So you need to know where your alliances will come from. Look, for those who are voting for Bawumia in the runoff, 98% will still vote for him. For those who are voting for Alan, 96% will still vote for him. Look at Ken supporters. 21% of them would vote for Bawumia. 57% would vote for Alan Chiramatin, and 22% said they will not vote. Okay. So whoever wins the runoff will depend on how he's able to go into Ken's base and work there. At the moment, there's more than half of them are voting for Alan, 21 are voting for Bawumia, and 22 said they will not vote. And the other voters are showing. Yeah. Now, this is the general election. After they have sorted out their primaries, how does it look like nationally for the road to Jubilee House? Right. We asked them, what were your reasons for choosing the person you wanted to vote for? What would be your reasons? 23% of them said they want somebody who can better manage the economy. Number one issue is economy, and again, more people are saying economy is a critical issue for them. Competence, 21%. Can fight corruption, 17%. Integrity, 16%. A man of his own, 13%. And can transform Ghana or the country, 10%. Right. Who can best manage the economy? Again, Mahama, 47%. Bawumia, 21%. Alan, 14%. Kennedy, 10%. Someone else, 10%. Now, in the race between Mahama and Dr. Bawumia, how does it look? Right. In April, Mahama was 55%.
Yeah.
And Bawumia was on 38%. Someone else, 7%. Currently, in July, Mahama remains 55%. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, though he's made a gain in the MPP race, is losing grounds against Mahama on 37%. He's dropped 1% compared to last poll. And someone else has gone up by 1%. At the moment, Bawumia is trailing Mahama 55%.
So we can say someone else took 1% from Bawumia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Next slide. Now, these are the regions they won. Bawumia won Ahafo, 66%. Ashanti, 54%. Bono, 50%. Northeast, 56%. And he is winning by a whisker in Upper East region. Quite strange, but it's not shocking. So 1, 2, 3, 4 regions, Bawumia is winning against Mahama. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5. Yes, 5 regions. Mahama is winning the rest of the regions. Shockingly, look at northern region. Mahama is now on 70%.
And he didn't have it in the earlier polls we conducted.
No, he was, in fact, in the previous polls, he was struggling. But since January, April, and now, he's taking a commanding lead in northern region.
Okay.
We don't think Bawumia will have it easy in northern region as people thought previously. Mahama has taken a foothold on northern region, and Greater Accra, 68%. Greater Accra, that is huge in Greater Accra. Central region, 65%. It's critical. Western region, 50%, and Bawumia on 37%. So you can see that the regions that Mahama needs to win, he's winning them. Western region is winning Western region. Greater Accra, 68%. Central region, 65%. And these are huge numbers.
Yeah. And these are they are like the decisive regions.
Yes, but if you win Central region, you win Greater Accra, you win Western region,
You're
the race is over.
It's the way you're saying it. Okay.
Right. Now, we looked at people's reason for voting a candidate and how they voted. For those who said competence was key for them, 54% preferred Mahama compared to 38% for Bawumia. For those who said better manage the economy, 58% Mahama, 35% Bawumia. Those who said can fight corruption, 53% Mahama, 40% Bawumia. A man of his own, 54% for Mahama, 40% for Bawumia. Integrity, 53% for Mahama, 38% for Bawumia. And can transform Ghana is 50-something%. I think you've skipped. Anyway, let's look at the party affiliation of voters. This is critical. Who is going into whose farm? Look, MPP supporters, 74% said they would vote for Bawumia, 74. 17% would vote for Mahama in the green. So the deep blue is MPP to Bawumia and the green is Mahama. 74% of MPP are intending to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, but 17% would vote for Mahama. When you come to NDC, 93% of NDC are voting for Mahama. Only 6 are voting for Bawumia. So net advantage of 11 for NDC in the cross-party line. Floating voters, 45% Mahama, 35% Bawumia, 20% someone else. Other parties, 45-27. Not disclosed. Those who did not disclose, look, 52% for Mahama and 37% for Bawumia. These are NDC guys who don't want to show their faces or MPP guys who are disgruntled.
Okay.
Next. Okay, we looked at religious bloc, how they are voting. Mahama is still green, Bawumia is still deep blue. Christians, Mahama is winning 53% against 39%. Muslim, 66% for Mahama, 31% for Bawumia. It's been this bad, like that for several months.
Yeah.
Traditional religion, 54% for Mahama, 37% for Bawumia. Other religion, 53% for Mahama, 29% for Bawumia. And no religion, 53% for Mahama and 35% for Bawumia. Across all religious blocks, Mahama is winning. It's a problem for Bawumia to watch. Now we're looking at Alan versus Mahama.
Okay.
If Alan is the flag bearer,
right.
Let's see the difference between these two.
Him and Dr. Bawumia. Okay, can we have the next slide if you can help us? So it's like we're likely to do a new polls after they have now elected the flag bearer.
We'll do a poll before the election of the flag bearer.
Okay.
In October.
Okay, right.
Now, Alan versus Mahama, the same story. Mahama was on 54% in April, he's still on 54%. Alan was 40%, he's dropped 1%.
It's almost the same.
Consistent, yes. So the problem is not really the candidate, it's probably the MPP now. Okay. But both Alan and Bawumia are
dropping
the same weight against Mahama.
Yeah.
Someone else is identical race, with the exception of where Alan does slightly better in terms of the numbers compared to Bawumia.
Yeah.
Nationally. Now, competence. Again, 5-3 for Mahama, 41 for Alan. Better economic management, 58-37. Can fight corruption, 52-41. A man of his own, 52-42. Integrity, 53-40. Can transform Ghana, 59-36. If you look at it, Mahama is still leading across all the reasons, but Alan is doing slightly better than Bawumia in terms of those matrix.
Margins, yes. Okay, next slide.
Next slide. Now let's look at where Alan won in the regions. Alan wins Ahafo, 65%. Alan wins Ashanti, 60%. He's doing 6% more than Bawumia.
Right.
That is very key.
Right.
It's adding 6 more percentage in Ashanti region that Bawumia was doing. But this time around, Alan was losing Bunu because Bunus don't buy his message.
Okay.
Bunu is Mahama wins. Central region, Mahama still wins, but he drops by a fraction, 1%. So it doesn't make a difference in MPP in the central region. Something is happening there. Eastern region, Alan wins 54%, 40%. Greater Accra, 64 for Mahama, down from 68. So Alan is dragging Bahama down in Greater Accra slightly. Northeast, now Mahama wins.
So Alan
if it's not Bawumia in Northeast, Mahama wins.
Okay.
Northern region, 72%. It doesn't change the story. Whether it's Alan or Bawumia, it is still the same. Otik, 58%. Savannah, 71%. Upper East region, now Mahama wins 50%. Bawumia was winning that one. Yes, so now it's flipped.
Right.
Upper West, no change, 71%. Volta region, 89%. Western region, 47, 46. Almost close for Alan and Mahama in Western region. That is critical. And then Western North, 54 Mahama and 33 for Alan. The ethnic groups.
I was looking at the strongholds of the two parties where in the Ashanti region, Alan wins about 60%.
Yes.
But in the Volta region, Mahama wins about 80%. Does it make any difference where in your stronghold, you're not winning about 80% of your votes?
The problem for MPP in their stronghold has been voter apathy. If you go back, you see someone else, 11% in Ashanti region.
Yeah.
It's too high.
Yeah, it's too high.
It's too high.
Okay.
Now, let's move forward. Now, now let's look at the Akan blocks.
Yeah.
Alan wins Akans, 52%. The Guans, Mahama wins, 50%. Gadangbi, Mahama wins 70%. The Ewe, Mahama wins 79%. Mori Dagbani, Mahama wins 67%. The Gruma, 58% for Mahama. Grushi, 65%. Mande, 51%. Others, 72%. So with the exception of the Akans, Mahama wins all the ethnic groups.
Wow. Is that dangerous? I mean, we say that Ghana is polarized,
no,
but
we must find a way of cutting through the ethnic. Any candidate must make effort to cut through.
Okay, that answers it.
Yes. Let's look at the religious religious bloc again. Christians, Mahama is winning 52%. It still doesn't change. Islam, 7%, 1% better than Bawumia. So the difference between Bawumia and Alan in Muslim is 1 vote. Okay. 1%.
Yeah.
So 1%. So Bawumia needs to do better than what it's currently doing among the Muslims. The traditional religion, Mahama still 54%, Alan 35%, others 51% to 37%, and then non-religion 52% to 38%. Yeah. So that is the race as far as the nation is concerned. The last one is the breaking the eight.
Right.
What is the view of voters?
All right.
Okay. Can the MPP break the 8? In April, 27% said yes, they can break the 8. In June, it remained flat, 27%, no change. No, it was 58%, it's dropped to 55%. Good news for them. But that good news should have gone to yes. It didn't go to yes. People didn't believe that. It went to no opinion.
Oh.
So it went up from 16% to 18%. Roughly.
You're swaying people a little.
So maybe they're coming here in transit before they can come here. Because it's a 2 steps to move from no to yes. So they have to come and cool themselves here and then decide whether they want to go here, they want to go back.
Right, that's it. So they're trying to be sure.
Yes.
I like the way you put it. All right. So when are we expecting the next polls? We're doing another before the flag bearership race.
I'm sure we'll have to do it. It will be within the first week of October, maybe 3 weeks before the flag bearership race in November.
tedious is this short period of,
For who?
for you? For
No,
global.
we are just swift in response. We can just mobilize the team within days to go back to the field. So that's not an issue for us. So once we are following our polling calendar, by 1st October, we'll start the polling, and by 10th October, we'll have finished, and take 2 or 3 days to put out the report. So within the first 2 weeks of October, the report will be out. And that report will be a very good measure of where the MPP race stands, and then how it's going to pan out in November among delegates. It's a different issue. But we're going to do another delegate polls, only delegate polls, not national views. Delegate polls will also be done in the same October.
Delegate polls for MPP.
For MPP, to see from a delegate point of view who they want to lead the MPP.
Right.
The last time we did was in June, just last June, and it was a very close call.
Now, Global Info Analytics always breaks it with us first, with Metro TV first. I think we have been very good partners. We need to see how we can. I'm not going to say that on air. Yeah, I'm not going to say that on air. But thank you. The reason why I actually asked that question was because they have given us a very periodic polls, at every point in time when election had to be conducted. Before you went to your primaries, the NDC, the MPP, who was going to lose, who was going to win, the problematic constituencies. He did special ones on them. He called them special constituencies, not so. Yes, and then also before the NDC went to its polls, we conducted something like that.
Yes,
yeah, the NDC's election, who was going to emerge, and we were 100% or 99. Okay, in polls you can't say 100%. 99%.
We got everything right in the NDC primaries.
Okay, sorry. so he's giving us that periodic poll, which is quite been consistent with the outcomes of most of the elections. And so I think the next one, we definitely will be glad to let us know, and then we can go through it. Because most of the political parties, I know now they are calling you. They also call me. It means I've become somebody. Yeah, they also call and they want the details and they work with it. So we appreciate your time, and we will look forward to the next delegate polls, right, with the MPP. We wish the MPP well as well. Mr. MUSSA DANKWAH is the Executive Director for Global Info Analytics, as we were following through with the MPP, as is also, periodically also making waves into getting to their final elections where they will elect their flag bearer. Thank you, Mr. MUSSA DANKWAH, for coming through. My name is Ania Fampofor. Thank you also for watching the program. This has been Good Afternoon, Ghana. Follow him on Twitter. Yes. Mr. MUSSA DANKWAH, right?
MK DANKWAH.
MK DANKWAH on Twitter. Sometimes after the release, he now will post it. So you can go and follow it. Or follow us on Metro TV Ghana, also on Twitter as well. And we also will post it. And then you get the full detail of the post. MK DANKWAH is his Twitter handle. My name is Ania Fampofor. Thanks.